We're fresh off a new moon, it's Capricorn season, and it's also the week of Christmas. This means that this forecast will cover the astro weather for the week of Christmas. If that's something you celebrate, or it's just an especially busy time for you because it seems like most people do celebrate it, so it's a busy time just because the world is busy, then this forecast can maybe help decode the energy at hand. It's not going to solve the problem of that one family member's attitude that you have to see every year, but it will at least give you a heads up on how that attitude might manifest this year. Make sure you like, rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a forecast. I don't really partake in Christmas, but if I did, I would be thrilled to see some new subscribers under the tree. Let's get into the astro weather. The scene is set to actually be a pretty chill week. 2 more planets are leaving Sagittarius and headed into Capricorn, which makes for a more stable astro atmosphere in general. Capricorn season begins today, Sunday the 21st. The sun ingresses into Capricorn today, which means consciousness itself is moving into cardinal Earth. The sun's shift from Sagittarius to Capricorn is always one of the more jarring solar ingressions, in my opinion. We're going from a season of Jupiter to a season of Saturn. Life takes on a more serious tone, but not necessarily in a bad way. We're just generally more busy and have things to wrap up since we're on the verge of closing out a calendar year. Capricorn season feels like it has these 2 really distinct parts. The first being us scrambling around through the end of the year, finishing tasks, wrapping up projects, making plans with friends and family, the holiday stuff. Or if you're me, avoiding plans with friends and family. Capricorn season is my 4th house, so I like to be in my hovel, in my safe space more than ever around this time. It's no diss to the holidays or anyone else. It's just I like being in my oasis, in my safe space, because it's my 4th house season. The second part of Capricorn season comes after the new year, and this is when we really see Capricorn's true nature come to life and shine. We're all so ambitious at the start of the year, and we all have these goals and ideas that we want to implement for the coming calendar year. And I can't tell you how many times I have given money to Duolingo only to learn German for a month. I've learned like a month of German every year, so I'm getting somewhere, maybe. But this week is going to be part of the first half of Capricorn season where we're trying to tie up loose ends, we're gathering our strength, we're creating a plan, and maybe even reflecting on what this past calendar year brought. Mars's ingression into Capricorn last week already gave us a jump start on wanting to make moves and take action, but now with the sun catching up, it's likely that we're able to fully embody that mindset now. Last week, we may have bitten off more than we can chew, or we had a lot of ideas, but we wanted to take action, but we weren't quite there yet. This week, with the sun also being in Capricorn, we're ready to take action. The sun's caught up, and we're embodying the Capricornian mindset now. I hope you used the new moon in Sagittarius last week to conjure up some goals for Capricorn season, because we are fully seated in cardinal Earth. The winter solstice, aka the first day of Capricorn season, marks the shortest day of the year in the northern hemisphere, and it also marks the movement towards our days starting to get longer again. We're beginning the journey of working our way through the other side of winter, through the darkness, and day 1 of that journey is literally today. On Christmas Eve, Wednesday the 24th, Venus also ingresses into Capricorn. This means the only planet left in Sagittarius is Mercury, which we'll come back to in a minute. Venus in Capricorn is bougie. Venus in Capricorn knows its worth. Venus in Capricorn will wait for the better option. Venus in Capricorn will tell you to dump him. Venus joining the Sun and Mars makes the realm of Capricorn a place where we're putting in a lot of, if not all, our effort right now. We're willing to go the distance and create something strong, stable, and of true value within the area that Capricorn rules for us. It doesn't like to take chances. Venus in Capricorn doesn't want to risk security. If it thinks it can get a big payout and it can get something really good, It might, but Venus in Capricorn is kind of risk averse, I will say, versus when it was in Sagittarius. The things that Venus in Capricorn is working towards, they're not going to develop quick or easy, but they will be of high value and worth investing in. I actually really like Venus in Capricorn and all Capricorn placements really because they know value, they know worth, and they will put in the work to get the thing of value, whether it be something intangible like a goal or something concrete like saving enough money to buy the nice thing one time instead of the crappy thing 12 times. We really were in a Jupiter heavy time for the last month with all that Sagittarius energy, but now we're needing to come back to center and get into our more Saturnian mindset, and whether or not you have Capricorn or Aquarius placements is going to determine how much you like being in a Saturnian mindset. For some people, this is going to feel like a slog. For other people, this is going to feel like home. It really all depends on your birth chart and what natal planets you got going on. The new moon last Friday really was our last Sagittarian hurrah. So like I already said, I hope it left you feeling inspired, or at least like you have an idea of the direction you want to go. You don't have to have it all figured out, but just having a little spark, just the tiniest little spark of a goal, Capricorn can work with that. Because Capricorn energy needs a goal. All these Capricorn ingressions that we're having happen right now that are all fresh and new, they need something to work towards. The goat is going to climb regardless, so we might as well give it the mountain. We might as well give it the thing to climb towards. The outlier in all this is Mercury. I said I'd come back to Mercury, so here we are. We're fully out of the retrograde shadow period, which means any mishaps and slips of the tongue are fully your own now. No more retrograde to blame. Mercury is still in its place of detriment and embodying a totally different energy than the rest of the personal planets, the Sun, Venus, and Mars. I keep saying how we're supposed to be working towards a goal, and this is the beginning of the goat climbing the mountain, but with Mercury still messing around in Sagittarius, our minds might not be there yet. Yes, consciously, we see the goal because the sun's ingression, but our mental workings and how we actually plan and go towards the goal, we're still missing that piece. So our minds aren't fully there yet. We're still in the big picture thinking mode when it comes to how our minds work and how the world at large is operating. So even if you didn't make super concrete intentions around the time of the new moon last week, Mercury in Sagittarius is giving you a little grace. It's giving you a little flex. If you missed that new moon or you just didn't have time to focus in or get inspired or create a spark, don't worry, you still have time. Mercury will be in Sagittarius until the end of the year, so we have another week and a half, and then on New Year's Day, it ingresses into Capricorn. We have until literally the end of the year to get our minds right, and that means pretty much this week. Since this is a holiday week, we're probably not going to be super focused on work and our to-do list. Part of us will want to be, because again, all that Capricorn energy, but we just won't be mentally there. We're going to be pulled in another direction. Don't beat yourself up if you fall into this category of pushing the snooze button on your ambition. Like I said, you have until New Year's Day to lollygag and kick it with the Sagittarian laid back, everything will work out mindset. It might be super jarring come New Year's Day when you want to put the pedal to the metal and you're tackling 50 different goals at once, but let's just focus on this week. This week, we should allow the goal to keep evolving. Consider Mercury and Sagittarius our fail-safe or our way out. If we start to get cold feet about what we thought the goal would be or how we wanted the goal to look, Mercury in Sagittarius says, no problemo, I'll change it. That's what mutable fire is good at. It's good at shifting and changing fuel. We want to do this before Mercury gets to Capricorn because it'll be a lot harder to get the goat to change directions once it started moving up the mountain. It doesn't want to change mountains. Once that goat is moving up the mountain, it does not want to shift its mountain. Sagittarius is good at seeing the big picture. Capricorn is good at piecing together that picture as it climbs the mountain. Make sure you're mentally set on what that picture looks like before the end of the year. And all this mostly pertains to the realms of Sagittarius and Capricorn and what you have going on there. But generally speaking, we're forming a vision, a goal, an idea, an ambition, and we have until the end of the calendar year to really bring it together before we start working on it in any meaningful sort of way. These planetary ingressions into Capricorn and the musings of Mercury and Sagittarius are the main energy for the week, but we also have some Chiron action. Surprise, some more Chiron action. That Jupiter square Chiron aspect that I keep bringing up, it's finally hitting its peak this week. It's finally exactly exact. So watch your wounds within the realm of Chiron because they're going to be morphing, changing, doing weird things. The holiday season will definitely add some tension to these wounds, but like I keep saying, we should recognize what it is by now. Even if it has a disguise on, it's a pretty bad disguise, like big glasses and the weird nose and a bad wig disguise. If you get duped by Chiron this week, it's your own fault. You weren't paying attention. You didn't see what was going on. If you get duped by your chironic wounds in Aries this week, you just weren't paying attention because we should really understand them by now, even though they are morphing and changing a bit. Mercury also has some involvement with Chiron towards the end of the week via a trine. The wisdom we're learning from Chiron's wounds, those may inform the vision that Mercury is piecing together for our plans for Capricorn season. Since this is a trine we're working with, we need to be pushing ourselves past fear and beyond what we believe our limits to be. This is a belief, what we think they are. Our limits are often much greater than we allow ourselves to think they are. And this holds true for the wounds of Chiron, but also for that grand vision that we're putting together. So don't limit yourself to what you think you can do. Go beyond that and put blind faith in yourself, in the goal, whatever it is. This is our last Sagittarius transit until literally next year, until next November, not counting the moon. The moon's obviously going to pass through Sagittarius every month, but as far as any other planet, this is all we got. Mercury may be in detriment, but that allows us to go beyond what's logically conceivable. And maybe it's because I have Mercury in Sagittarius that I love this about the detriment. But when Mercury is in detriment, it really can look at logic and be like, I don't need you. I don't play by your rules. It doesn't matter if that's not logical. It can be done. So let yourself dream up something big this week. Push that dream beyond what you think is actually possible. And then Capricorn season will take it from there. Have a great week. Travel safe, which this holiday should be better for traveling than Thanksgiving due to the astro weather evening out a bit. But regardless, travel safe, dream big, and I'll meet you back here next week for the final forecast of 2025. Thank you for tuning into this week's forecast. If you want a more detailed look at what this week's astro weather holds for you personally, go to my website, moonmattersastrology.com, and sign up to receive my zine. You can also find me on Patreon by searching for Moon Matters. The best way to keep up to date with my work or to book a reading with me is to sign up for my mailing list on my website. I'll meet you back here next week, but until next time, later days.